Well, but I don't know if Superman super sucks, but there was some test screening rumors. There was some bad test screening stuff.
Yeah.
This is well, yeah, it says a tone. Basically, there's just some more information that have come out from the test screenings. It's more recent information, which basically released late yesterday, and it's interesting. It's interesting. So it says this initial word from the internal test screenings of Superman was not especially positive, but reports from more recent test screenings of James Gunn's DCU reboot definitely sounded more optimistic, although there was that other person that was like, yeah, it's terrible, they can't save it, blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, James Gunn's going back for reshoots. So it's kind of all over the place. Like, it is kind of all over the place. Now, it says this. Now we have a few more details to share, and this comes via a reliable source, apparently, but should be taken as rumor. So DC Depressão or some shit like that. I don't bloody know what that is. Some Portuguese stuff. That's right. Paulie, Latino slant, be throwing a fit right now. But anyway, here's leaks. So take it with a grain of salt, right? Nicholas Hoult is apparently great as Lex Luthor. I can full blown believe that. Like I can genuinely believe that. Nicholas Holt's such a good actor now.
Yeah, I'd agree with
He's
that.
brilliant.
For sure.
The VFX CGI look a lot better than it did in the first trailer. So apparently they've refined some of the CGI, which is good. Good, yeah. You better do. When Marvel gets criticized so heavily for CGI, DC should be learning from that. There are apparently some surprise villains. Rachel Brosnahan is funny and adorable, is the quote. Did anyone see her at one of those award ceremonies?
I did not.
I didn't either.
Are you joking me? Jesus.
I never watch award ceremonies.
What, at the Oscars?
Nah, mate. So,
are you about to say that she's smoking hot and she dressed very provocatively?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, she is smoking hot, and yes, she does dress provocatively. She has some assets.
Show us, Nate. Show us.
Yeah, she has some assets you guys will appreciate. I'm just gonna say.
So I think that's funny and adorable.
Okay. I think she's a strong
the boob window.
I think one of them's funny and one of them's adorable. I think.
By the way, you can see her Brosnan hands in that show that she was on.
What
show?
Yeah.
Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. She goes topless in the first episode.
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
I have to look that up later.
It's a good show. Honestly, it's a good show. I like it a lot.
Yeah,
I really like that show.
Yeah.
What's the name of the show?
I liked it for the plot.
Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Mrs.
Well, anyway, so she's funny and adorable as Lois Lane. Apparently, there's quite a bit of humor as well as more emotional moments. The tone is said to be closer to the first Wonder Woman film and the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I don't know whether they're good. That's a good thing or not.
It's the only kind of film that Gunn can make.
What, Guardians?
No. Kind of rough humor with an ensemble cast. He cannot make a solo film, which is what Superman should have been.
Yeah, true. So it says this. Not sure how this will be received, but the site is also reporting that David Corenswet's take on the Man of Steel is reminiscent of Brandon Routh's version of the hero from Superman Returns. For what it's worth, John Campier, he's a fucking reprobate, also says that he's heard the movie's tremendously good. Apparently it's emotional and funny with more sci-fi elements than you might expect. So the part about a surprise villain is interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah, and Gunn's also said, he's got to go back and do some reshoots. So there you go. I mean, that's the news, basically. There's some updates, a little bit more information. But again, take it with a pinch of salt because one source has also revealed that it was terrible as well. The thing about these things, and I think it's really important to note, because loads of people always go, oh, there's so many conflicting reports. It's like, yes, mate. Have you never watched a film before with your friends? You're not all going to have the same opinion. So yes, there will be conflicting reports. It doesn't mean that any one person is saying falsities, because film is subjective. Right? Yeah, there will be differences of opinion. So thoughts, culture. Let's get to you first because you're slowly falling asleep.
Look, I had very low expectations for this film. That's not changed.
Yeah.
I would say that it's getting worse, actually. So,
Worse?
You're not excited for Rachel's Brosnans?
I mean, that might be a winner. Look, it's Superman. Expectation low.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Whoa. Explain that comment. Are you saying that Superman is not a good character?
No, I'm saying that James Gunn is not going to be the guy for this film. And the fact that he took it on as the first project was dumb.
We were about to go 9 rounds.
No, I love Superman, dude.
Okay, good.
No, I like the Donner Superman. I do not like this. This is going to be very bad indeed.
What I found funny was reminiscent of Brandon Routh's take on Superman. Brandon Routh's take on Superman was reminiscent of Christopher Reeve's take on Superman. So wouldn't it just be reminiscent of Christopher Reeve's?
Yeah, but people always do the new thing, don't they? The reference in the newer things. So I don't know.
This is. I'm not. I don't think I'm exaggerating here. It is the most important movie Warner Brothers has ever put out. Because if it fails,
I would agree with that.
If this movie fails, that's it. They cannot do this again. There have been too many starts and stops. They let that maniac moron hack, run his own universe and run the entire DC property into the ground because he doesn't understand storytelling or heroes or characters or anything resembling good filmmaking. I'm talking about Zack Snyder. I hate his guts. I hope he never works again.
Don't let the Snyder Bros hear you say that.
Oh, I'll let them all hear it. Come at me, bro. I will pick apart their arguments because if there were enough of you, then there would still be a Snyderverse. You putrid morons. But the
fair point.
Look, I am all for Superman that is that is light, that is fun, that is it has joy in it because that is what Superman is. And I'm rooting for this film. There have been a lot of things that have given me pause because nobody really that's one of the things.
That's so bad.
Yeah. I don't know, James Gunn has been weirdly defensive about everything, which he posts everything on Threads, which is the weirdest thing ever. I think he's the only person that uses Threads.
Yes, Threads sucks dick, man. Like,
really
if anyone's in the chat right now and you use Threads, just don't. All right, just don't even. I don't want you here. All right, if you use Threads, I'm joking.
I didn't even know that was still a thing.
Mate, they keep trying to make it a thing. It's bloody awful. Don't use Threads. It's lame.
No, but I mean, look, I want this movie to be good. If they're saying it's similar in tone to the first Wonder Woman movie, well, that's good news. I like the first Wonder Woman movie. It's great up until the last act when it kind of falls apart. But yeah, I want this to be good. I want it to be good so badly because I'm a DC guy through and through. Superman is my favorite hero. And I just love the DC universe way more than I've ever loved Marvel. And I think that if there's a void right now. There is a void in the fact that Marvel is so universally disliked at this moment. But I don't think superheroes are disliked. I don't buy into the superhero fatigue thing. I think there's bad movie fatigue. I think people just don't like the movies Marvel's making. So if DC can come out the gate and I mean slam dunk this movie, not like, oh yeah, it was kind of all right, not like a $500 million release. They have to slam dunk this thing to kick this universe off. It has got to be Iron Man good. If they're gonna take, and this is their opportunity. Feige has run Marvel into the ground. James Gunn has the opportunity to pick up this universe and run with it. I don't know if he's the guy to do it, but we're about to find out. I think there's a lot of behind the scenes nonsense going on right now, especially around the idea of Batman, because I don't think that this Batman movie ever comes out. Yeah, I think that you end up with Robert Pattinson as your DCU Batman. But the it's going to be very interesting to see what actually happens with this. I think the casting is good. I think Corn Sweat looks fine. Look at the guy. The guy's got nice big arms right there. Like he's got good shoulders. Like I don't buy the people that say he's too scrawny to be Superman. One of which is my co-host screams it constantly. It's I think Rachel Brosnahan has got some tremendous assets that will bring a lot of good things to Lois Lane. No, but seriously, as somebody who likes Mrs. Maisel, she's going to be a good Lois Lane because she plays that like super smart, super confident, just endearing character very, very well. Even things like Nicholas Hoult, I thought he looked tremendous in the trailer, and I like him generally. Now, the mystery villain that they're pointing to, I've heard what a rumor of what it might be. And if it's that, I think that's cool because it'll be a villain that can match him. And that's
my brain.
No, what I've heard is that Lex Luthor clones Superman to create Ultraman, and then Ultraman degrades. Ultraman then degrades into Bizarro. And I think I think we've seen Ultraman in the trailer. I think that's the guy that he's fighting on the football field.
Yeah,
but then the clone would break down and degrade and become Bizarro at the end.
Huh. It's an interesting. Yeah, that's interesting.
But
that's not really a surprise because we already heard that was, I don't know.
Yeah, I need him to smile. I need him to save people. I need him to care. All the things. And look, Henry Cavill had the ability to do that. We saw it in, as much as people hate this movie, I will defend this one thing about it. People hate on that the theatrical release of Justice League. But the one thing Joss did right was Superman. Now, not his face, obviously. The facial CGI was terrible. But when he's sitting there talking to those kids, I'm like, oh, cool, Superman just showed up. When he does the whole, I believe in truth, but I'm a big fan of justice, I'm like, oh, cool, Superman's in this movie. When he goes to Batman and the first thing he says is, how can I help? That's Superman. Joss, for all the faults of that movie, and there's a lot of them, Superman was not one of them. As opposed to the Snyderverse, where he's just this sneering, murdering psychopath who wears black for no reason. Like the point of the black costume in the comics was that when he comes back to life, he's not like his powers aren't fully back yet. Like he's still. So the black suit was made to take in the solar radiation to heighten, to speed up the recovery process so that he would become full powered Superman again. But in this, he just wears it because it looks cool, I guess.
It's edgelord shit, mate.
Yeah, it's exactly it. Zack Snyder is the king of the edgelords.
Go on, Nick. We're not heard from you yet, mate.
I agree with what all you guys were saying about this, especially the point that if this movie fails, their whole DC universe fails. I don't know how they continue if they get this one wrong. And most hardcore, and Marvin could probably respond to this, but I believe most hardcore Superman fans want the comic version of Superman.
They want Superman.
Yeah, they want actual, not a modern day audience Superman. So hopefully Gunn understands this, and that's what he gives the fans. I've always been a Superman fan. He's not like my favorite or anything, but I mean, I still have the bagged copy, the Death of Superman, with the black cover and the white cover. That was, I remember.
Don't ever try to sell it because it's worthless.
Yeah. I still have it, from when I was a kid, and but I remember when that came out, that was just the big, huge thing, was the Death of Superman. They were getting rid of him, and nobody thought, everyone was like, oh, he's never coming back. Of course they're bringing him back. But I'm looking forward to seeing this movie and seeing what they do with it. And I'm actually more curious to hear what hardcore Superman fans like Marvin and Angry Joe, if you guys know who Angry Joe is on the internet, he is a huge Superman fan as well. I'm more curious to hear what the hardcore Superman fans gotta say about it, because that'll really tell me everything I need to know.
What we want is truth, justice, in the American way. We don't need to see him brood. We don't need to see him sulk. Like that was the problem. Was Warner Brothers decided that because The Dark Knight made $1 billion, that every superhero had to be dark and angsty and broody like Batman, because that was what sold. And it's like, no, you don't get it, because when every superhero is like Batman, then there's nothing special about Batman. Batman is supposed to be the Batman and Superman are the yin yang, you know, like it's hope and darkness. It's, you know, Batman goes to the places Superman can't go, and Superman goes to the places Batman could never. It's the day, and it's night versus day, like literally. So yeah, I mean that relationship is key. And Snyder fumbled it right out the gate, because, you know, he had a murdering Batman and a murdering Superman, and you know, it was just absolutely terrible, everything he did. It was all, but truth, justice, and the American way, that's what you need. That's what's going to sell. Captain America showed you in the first 3 phases of Marvel that works. You can have a wholesome Boy Scout character, and people will still get behind him if he's in good stories and he has good motivations. The problem with Superman is that nobody has tried to do him correctly since Dean Cain. Dean Cain was the perfect Superman. Perfect.
Yeah.
What chances do you think there are of Robert Pattinson's Batman being brought into this? Because honestly, I actually liked the Batman. The third act, you know,
I like the Batman, but they keep denying that. They've denied that flatly.
I think there's talk behind the scenes, because they announced this Brave and the Bold movie, and then Flash tanked, and you know, the guy that's I forget the gentleman's name who directed Flash, but
Andy Muschietti.
Yes, Andy Muschietti. He is he's set up to direct Batman Brave and the Bold. There's been no movement on it. Apparently there is no script for either Brave and the Bold or the Batman 2 yet. And I think the reason for that is because there's internal discussions, and I think James Gunn is fighting Warner Brothers on this, because I think Warner Brothers looked at the Batman and was like, hey, this made a lot of money. The Penguin was really popular. This is the Batman that we have to go with in our DC universe. And James Gunn doesn't want that. But I think that's what's going to happen, for better or worse.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
I can see that.
All right, well, there you go. We've got some super chats, so we'll get to them now. Carl Saigan for $2 says, guys, who's hotter, Nicholas Hoult or Rachel Brosnahan?
It's close, but you know,
I mean, it's not close for me. It's Rachel Brosnahan.
I'm being sarcastic, because gay jokes are never bad.
This is true. This is true. Thanks for that, Carl. Good question. Loved it. Hemorrhoid Hurt says Cyclone about to hit 30 chickens now in the house. Oh, Cyclone about to hit 30 chickens now in the house.
Yeah.
He's got a cyclone about to hit him. He's got all his chickens in the house.
Okay.
Yeah, the weather down there is frightful right now. So, yeah, I don't know where you're keeping those chickens, but you better get ready to clean. I hope you got a lot of bleach. Anyway, I hope you stay safe, my friend. I really do.
Yeah, please.
And he says again, sci-fi, etc., requires the suspension of disbelief. It does. It does, mate. It does. All right.